Jamie, I know you wanted to speak to this. If you want.
Yeah, I've been with if Richard was here, but.
Oh.
He got
Sorry.
out. Yeah, so I had proposed that the town board review this option. For another, I guess,
Alternative.
to what the
We doing a motion on this one?
No.
No, just.
what the gifting committee,
Mhm.
or was it called the road
Yeah.
gift committee? Their process. So I thought that this could be, the discontinuance of a town road could be reviewed by PennDOT, and, this could be maybe mentioned as an option for landowners, who own or abut, town roads. It doesn't even necessarily have to do with paving or not paving. It's a way for the town to relinquish some of its financial responsibilities and liability, and maybe insurance liability for sections of road that are less used than other sections of road. So, I mean, I think from Ken's review, it seems like this is an option, as I had discussed with other, municipal attorneys and people kind of in this world. I wonder if this can't, more formally be included in the language that we use, leading up to the approval of the 284 every year. Maybe we could say, hey, your road, or, certain works may be performed in your road, but there's these two options, or there's these three options that you as private landowners can pursue before our board. And it requires, this and this and this, but if you meet these requirements, then the board and the highway superintendent can review it. And I honestly think it will prevent a lot of conflict. I mean, many of the dirt roads that are being disputed every year, they're very underused, and this may be just another option.
I don't understand that abandon a road means there's no practical use for it.
No, so this is abandonment is one term that PennDOT reviewed last year. So what I brought up is that there's another law that uses the term discontinuance.
Well, okay, you're getting,
And-
I mean, isn't the
So
final?
did you read this?
Yeah.
I skipped
Yeah.
that. So the final
Okay.
result is that the town no longer owns or maintains the road. So what happens if people on that road need an ambulance? Or
What do you
fire-
mean? It's the same, so
Who
essentially,
maintains it?
it's the same, it's
The
the
usable
same
condition.
setup, it's the same conditions and setup as a homeowners association in a private road cul-de-sac.
So then
It's
we-
exactly the same, so
Right.
homeowners are held to a certain standard.
Okay.
There's a state standard for how to maintain roads, how wide they have to
Homeowners.
be,
That's
Yeah.
so it's.
so it's their responsibility.
So.
Goes to a private road.
Here's what I'd like to propose, is that we put these two documents, Kendall and Jamie's research, in a newsletter. If you would write a brief précis, or is this
Yeah, I mean,
something?
could we put it all together as kind of like, here are the options, like, the highway superintendent with, and the town board supports the paving of dirt roads in Hillsdale, right? I mean, from,
We put
right,
the
so-
maintenance, yeah,
supports the chip seal, or however
Yeah.
you wanna put it. And, here are some options
Okay.
as a private landowner, if you don't,
Right.
agree with this future
okay,
that has been visioned for you, then here are some options you can take before our board.
Right, but
And-
let's just say that you're a very wealthy person and you can afford to pay for a road. If you have someone on your road who isn't wealthy and they just want their road.
No,
maintained.
it requires actually
Everybody.
Everyone. Everyone.
Okay.
yeah.
So any adjacent landowner has to agree.
Yeah.
And to be honest, most of the time, if there is like one landowner who owns most of the frontage, that person in a homeowners association is gonna pay for the bulk of maintenance. So it can actually be a great scenario. Also, it can be a great scenario for someone living on that road. They may actually get more attention put on that road. The other thing is, you know, when you have big farms, you often have this equipment to maintain dirt roads and can be more, you know, picky in how you.
But are they gonna be out there at 2 AM, you know, like the highway department is, if there's a fire? We
So
need to be
I'll
out
give an
there.
example. I own a private road,
Yeah,
so doesn't qualify for this. It's a private subdivision road.
and you're the only one that lives on
Uh,
Well,
there are three properties, so any of the owners of three properties would contribute to a homeowner's agreement. And we have a maintenance contract, just like the town does with many plowers. We also subcontract plowing
Right.
to many of the same people
it? Right,
that homeowners
yeah,
associations
so,
have all subcontract.
so if one of those houses goes up for sale,
Our road gets plowed before the town.
but all those people have to contribute to this maintenance, right?
Sure, of
Yeah.
course.
So what if it's a young family who can afford a house, but they can't afford all these maintenance costs?
They would know about that going into what we're doing now.
Moving available housing in our own community,
Oh,
this way, and
that-
making it
But
kind of a gold, you know, you have to come in with your
I mean,
golden card.
No, so the other thing, so there's a few parts that, there's a lot of misunderstanding, with this, I'm not sure what you're referring to,
It's
but
adding more costs to home property ownership in our town, that's what I'm saying.
it's, I think that's an assumption, that's a blanket assumption.
But
Well-
the town's not paying for it, so someone else is paying for it, right? The homeowner's paying for it.
Yeah, but
But-
that's,
Plus what they're paying their taxes.
that's an agreement between the
In
so another
perpetuity,
thing-
what if one
yeah,
house
but
gets sold?
another way to look, another,
You know?
I'm not arguing.
mhm.
If you own the house on the road, that's
So,
great.
so another way to look at it is that actually, people actually own the road. The private landowners actually own the
Yeah,
town
but
road.
it's-
You
but
understand?
The town.
yeah, but it's by
Right.
use.
So, right, so essentially, the town has a maintenance easement of town roads. So the
But-
fact that private landowners want to assume the responsibility of maintaining the road, and we have this financial position that we definitely don't want to pay for minute maintenance at the end of these roads, or
Mhm.
like, it seems to be a good option.
But I do think, first of all, it's the highway superintendent who would come to the board, to abandon a road and declare it useless, it's pretty strict in that, either the road is useless, there's an abandoned house on it and nobody uses that road anymore, or there's, for an example, there's road A and there's road B and there's houses. But everyone on this row of houses has accessibility on road B, and street A is not used, so that's a useless road. You know, declaring a road useless it's tricky, it's the last 1,000, on a dead end street, there's 1,000 feet inward that you can petition the town, as I'm reading it. And
Well, he's reading two different statutes.
yeah,
Yeah, but
but my point is, until a road comes and says, you know, we're interested in this, you know, this debate it's very technical and would require more lawyer time, and we did allow lawyer time for this, and we can certainly promote this in the newsletter, and it doesn't have to be this month, it can be, you know, before the end of the year. But I think the real nitty gritty in the debate would come at an actuality, not a hypothetical.
yeah, I mean, the other thing to remember is that these statutes do not require, like, you know, gated access or something like that. Like, roads are still actually publicly accessible, so they can be privately maintained and still publicly accessible.
Mhm.
So there's no, you know, loss of public view sheds, you don't necessarily have this situation. So I mean, that's why Cornell Local Roads Program presents this idea, because I'm sure these type of conflicts happen all the time, all over the state.
Yeah.
And so people have considered this in the past. I've provided at least one draft resolution that shows an example of this. There are many more out there. You know, I don't think there's actually much case law on this subject
Mhm.
because it's not that controversial. People aren't really suing over, these decisions by town boards because
Or they can afford to.
where is the controversy? If everyone is in agreement and they come to the town board and say, this is what we agree to, you're not going to necessarily risk
Well, the way that
facing
the
lawsuits.
statute is written is you approach the highway superintendent, who
Yeah.
approaches the town board, just to be clear there.
Right.
For this abandonment
and it
issue, at
has to-
least, there may be other exceptions, but again, until, this is not hypothetical, I don't, I think we have a lot of lawyer time to this and board time, which is great, but, I'm just being conscious of our.
Well, you have to
Yeah.
also meet the requirements of the highway superintendent.
Sure, yeah, no, there's standards, yes,
Yes, definitely.
there's state standards, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not really the town standards, they're state standards.
Yeah.
for the road. And
Right.
and frankly,
Technically, that's what we have.
they're more strict than what we abide by as a town. Because it's almost like, individuals have actually greater exposure, legal exposure than the town would.
Right,
Yeah, it's a private road, it's privately insured.
Right.
okay, thank you for the research, thank you to Ken, any other business before the town? Oh, yeah, light poles, forward you an email about how they're gonna be progressing, the weather's changed. We've always wanted to dim those, and they are dimmable, but they were never programmed, to do so, so I'm gonna investigate that. It might involve, a $50 dim switch for each, pole and, some, contractor to actually install them. But there have been complaints about rather bright lights in bedroom windows
Yeah.
in the hamlet.
The other thing you might wanna look at is you can sometimes change the color on LEDs.
Yeah,
So, the standard was 2,700.
I don't know if they actually, aren't the bulbs wired to that standard? I agree, these are ugly, they're blue, they should be warmer, but I don't know, you can
You'd
change.
have to change.
You
the
can
whole thing.
change it on some LED
Okay.
fixtures, so I would look into it.
okay,
And you'll
No,
have
no, it's 'cause
2,700 is like the old standard,
Right.
but now the standard is 3,500, which is much, much warmer. So
okay,
usually it's between 3,000 and
You'd have to
3,500.
change the whole acorn.
yeah, I will check if
No,
that's possible.
usually it's like, on many fixtures, it's literally just a lever that you
No,
move.
it's
right
not on
left.
these, they're much older than, they've been
I
here
mean,
12 years.
I know when you buy
Yeah.
light bulbs, when I bought a.
Oh, yeah.
you have to
Yeah, that's
choose
another-
lock in.
Yeah.
That's another option.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I've just installed lights,
Yeah.
I have goes from blue to yellow, I mean,
Alright.
basically.
So these are either one or the other. Either you have a light bulb that you can choose a color, or there's a way to actually alter it,
You can't
alter the
alter it.
color.
They're just the one way, you just can't.
I'll look at the spec.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yes.
it's worth
They are.
asking.
Yeah.
someone.
but
Well, I was
let's,
thinking when we installed them and purchased them and
Yeah.
picked out the color, and we didn't have that many options.
Right, but what I'm saying is at that time,
Yeah,
these options did not generally exist.
Okay.
So,
well, at least let's, get them dimmed after a certain hour.
well, I need to find out on the, purchasing for the streetscape, what exactly the specs were.
Okay.
Because it says dimmable, and I know we talked about dimmable, and I argued that they should be dimmable,
They definitely should be dimmable.
so.
Well,
I'm
Alright, we'll look
assuming they're
at it.
dimmable.
okay,
How we dim them, I have no idea, but.
motion to adjourn. Nico, Jamie, all in favor? Thank you, it was a very informative meeting, thank you all.